Unanimous judgment today of the Supreme Court. Senator Adeleke's election as governor of Osun State was upheld, and the apex court struck out former Governor Boyega Oyetola's appeal. And tonight, we shall be getting some perspectives on the real reasons why the APC structured its zoning arrangement with specific names put to it. They say it was a consultation with Bola Tinubu, stakeholders, and the Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima. We'll be getting some of the politics that have gone behind it. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Abuja. We get off tonight to let you know a few of the stories that we are following for you. But let's let you know that our attention is on the Supreme Court judgment, which has now said, finally, that Senator Adeleke is the governor of Osun State. And also, we'll be keeping our eyes on the real reasons why the APC zoned the National Assembly leadership positions to the presiding officer's position and gave specific names of people to the zoning. We'll be getting that just in a moment. We'll be discussing those issues. Governor Adeleke will be joining us tonight on the program after the Supreme Court judgment. But let's let you know that it's day 2 of the presidential election petition tribunal, as it entertained the pre-hearing of the petition filed by the Allied People's Movement, APM, at a pre-hearing of the case. The 5-man panel led by Justice Aruna Samani and the APM adjourned the petition till Thursday, May the 11th, for the continuation of the hearing. The APM is challenging the victory of the President-elect Bola Tinubu. The party contends that the elections which returned Tinubu were marred by electoral malpractice and violence, among others. Lawyers representing the All Progressives Congress, APC, the President-elect and the Vice President-elect, however, asking the court to dismiss the petition. Atiku Abubakar and the PDP are also asking the tribunal to declare him, the PDP candidate, the winner of the presidential election, or alternatively, order a rerun between him and the President-elect Bola Tinubu of the APC. The team is also asking that the tribunal to commit itself to a televised proceedings of the petitions. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has been reacting to the leadership tussle within the All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, and what may have appeared as a convoluted legal issues. INEC is responding to allegations stemming from posters and statements being circulated by what INEC refers to as an amorphous group accusing the Commission of refusal to obey the judgment of the Supreme Court, purportedly recognizing Mr. Edoze Njoku as the authentic national chairman of ABGA. The Commission says it views the circulation of the posters and statements as cheap blackmail aimed at hoodwinking those not abreast of the details of the case. And it went further in that statement to say, quote, "We wish to say that the issues in question are about facts, the law and due process, not amenable to hysteria and appeal to sentiment." It says, while explaining the circumstances around the different lawsuits and the history of the matter, and it says Chief Edoze Njoku, who was never a party to any of the suits and the processes filed in the various courts, approached the Supreme Court of Nigeria as an interested person applicant and filed a motion on notice seeking for an order of the court to correct typographical errors and accidental slip in the lead judgment of the Supreme Court. This was granted, and the correction did not in any way affect the substance of the suit and the orders made by the Supreme Court. And it concludes in that statement by saying that it is a law-abiding institution and will continue to give effect to the decisions, judgments, and orders of the various courts in Nigeria. We will first and foremost touch base in Osun State, where Governor Adeleke is standing by to speak with us. We get a reaction to his to the judgment of today and some of his reaction on what then is next for him as a governor now that the coast is clear as far as the legal fireworks is concerned. So stick with me. Everyone will be getting to Osun State in just in a moment. But let's check some of your political random stories.
The President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, and Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, say the 9th National Assembly has performed far better than the previous 5 assemblies since 1995. The duo made the unanimous statement at the welcome dinner organized by the National Assembly's leadership and the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies for senators and honorable members-elect of the 10th National Assembly.
You will note that all the highlighted achievements have been achieved on a bipartisan basis through the efforts of legislators working together despite the membership in different political parties.
In line with our well-articulated legislative agenda, the 9th Senate prioritized the return of the federal budget to predictable January-December cycle.
The Senate has set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the Niger Delta Development Commission for failing to submit its budget estimates for 2021 and 2022 to the National Assembly, as all money spent by the Commission for the fiscal year are illegal. This followed the presentation of a report by the chairman of the Senate on Niger Delta, Senator Amos Kilawangs, for the Senate to consider the budget for approval.
We set up a committee, ad hoc committee, to investigate what happened in terms of expenditures illegal.
The last may not have been heard about the suspension of the State Executive Council of the New Nigeria People's Party in Ogun State, as members of the State Executive described the suspension as unnecessary. It will be recalled that the national leadership of the party had earlier accused the party's state structure of working against the party's interests in the pre- and post-election activities, especially with the recent withdrawal of litigation against the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) and Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State. At a press conference held in Abeokuta, the state capital, the state chairman, Sunday Ogini, maintained that the purported expulsion cannot stand, as the court has refrained the national leadership from interfering in the party's affairs in the Senate. The governor of Adamawa State, Umaru Fintiri, has expressed concern that the judiciary in Nigeria needs deliberate image saving. The governor made this known while swearing in 3 judges at the government house in Yola, the Adamawa State capital. According to him, a situation where citizens flagrantly violate the law and arrogantly tell you to go to court because of their ability to manipulate the course of justice does not only make the innocent a victim, but robs the judiciary of its integrity and the last hope of the common man.
The judiciary is the last line of defense in any constitutional democracy, and there must never be a time when citizens begin to harbor any suspicion that the judiciary is captured.
The governor of Ebonyi State, David Umahi, has been speaking on decisions to step down from contesting for the president of the Senate. The governor, who was speaking to journalists in Onueke, Ezza South local government area, notes that his decision to discontinue his quest for the leadership of the Senate for the 10th National Assembly followed the call by the president-elect, Senator Bola Tinubu, to jettison his ambition. He also dismissed the insinuation that he would lobby for the position of the Minister for Works in the incoming administration.
If we surrender now, and even if I said no, what would have happened? And so I had to.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. It was a victory again for Senator Adeleke of the PDP, the governor of Osun State, when the Supreme Court today set aside the appeal by former Governor Gboyega Oyetola of the All Progressives Congress APC, challenging the election of Adeleke of the PDP as Osun State governor. The Apex Court, in his judgment read by Justice Emmanuel Agim, also upheld the appeal court's judgment, which upheld the election of Adeleke as the state governor. The Apex Court held that the appellant failed to adduce enough evidence to prove his allegation of overvoting in the 16th July 2022 governorship election in the state. The judgment was affirmed and adopted by the entire 5 members of the panel. According to all the members of the panel, the appeal lacked merit. The Independent National Electoral Commission declared Adeleke the winner of the poll, saying he scored 403,371 votes to sack Oyetola, who was the incumbent at the time, who garnered 375,027 votes. Oyetola and his party had alleged irregularities in the polls and a challenge Adeleke's victory at the tribunal. Oyetola won at the tribunal. Adeleke won at the appeal court and now again at the Supreme Court. Take a listen to some of the lawyers after the delivery of the judgment.
So many legal issues were raised, which are very fundamental to our electoral jurisprudence, particularly 2022, when the new electoral act was passed. So there have been issues, transmission and server. What is the implication? Which one do we rely on? Is it the voters register or the end server? The Supreme Court has settled that today as a mark of finality. You need the voters register, you need the ECHA, you need the difference, but the three of them, they are the trinity that can prove overvoting. They must go together. So they must go together. So today we are very happy because it has thrown more light into the electoral jurisprudence and guidance for not only lawyers and judges, but for the Nigerian community.
We informed the tribunal and presented evidence that the petition was not what being presented, and the tribunal ignored justice and delivered what cannot pass for a judgment. Today the Supreme Court has said there is no scintilla of merit. No scintilla of merit. What a sad day for that tribunal.
All right, you heard the INEC lawyer and the lawyer to Senator Ademola Adeleke. But we've been getting some reactions now, not only from the courtroom and outside of the courtroom, but we are hearing now from the President, Muhammadu Buhari, who has been reacting to that judgment. The President said in the statement, he says, with the final decision by the court, the President reminds the political class and their supporters that the main task at hand is to make the people feel the impact of good governance, where a prosperous, peaceful, and stable Osun State is guaranteed. It therefore urges all citizens and residents of the state, particularly notable sons and daughters, to give the government of Senator Ademola Adeleke all the support it needs to ensure that programs, policies, plans, and aspirations fashioned to make individuals and businesses flourish succeed. Elections should be seen as the path to an end, which is the progress of the people in a peaceful environment rather than on an unending bickering. This is a time for inclusion and harmony in the state at the end of the litigation. End of quote. Those are the words of President Muhammadu Buhari to Senator Adeleke and the people of Osun State. Let's get more reactions now. The man who is at the center of it all, the man who the election was challenged not only once but twice, and twice now is being successful. Senator Ademola Adeleke, the executive governor of Osun State, joins us live from Ede, Osun State. Thank you so much and congratulations, Your Excellency, emerging victorious yet again. The last time at the appeal court, after that judgment, I had the opportunity of speaking with you, and now here you go. This is with the one with a statement of finality. How does this come to you, Senator Adeleke?
Tell you the truth, first of all, let me thank the people of Osun State. They stood by me and they are still standing by me. Because they trooped out on July 16 and they elected me as their governor. And you know, I just thank them because the love is organic. It's just organic. So today, I'm not really surprised that when the tribunal and I set it up that it was a miscarriage of justice. The appeal court, they proved it, and now today, the Supreme Court has affirmed it and said that I'm the authentic And I thank the judiciary, the judges that use their wisdom. They took their time in giving that judgment. Very grateful to God too, and the people of Osun State. Thank you.
Governor Adeleke, you heard what President Buhari has said today. President Buhari is not a member of your party. He's a member of the APC, but those statements coming from him seeking support for you and saying that now bickering should stop. How do you react to, or how does the president's statement come to you?
Well, there was a few months ago, I was elected. I paid him a courtesy visit as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and I commended him for signing the Electoral Act, which brought me in, and I appreciate him. And of course, I seek his support in so many ways, and he promised to support me, to support the Osun people. So I'm not surprised from what he's now saying, that the people of Osun State should rally around and support this. I think he's a father. I think he's telling us that he's the president of the whole Nigeria, president and the commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is what he's telling us. I appreciate him for doing that.
Fantastic. Now, elections are over, litigations are over, the contestations are over. You are now, for real, without any kind of ambiguity, the governor of Osun State. Now, as the governor, of course, you have the people who did not support you, who did not vote for you. You had people who contested your election, who challenged your election, not only on the field, but in the courtroom. Man, what would you say to them tonight?
Well, I will say that first of all, I don't like saying it. If you want to be a leader, you must have a fear of God. I will tell them that, listen, democracy is at play here. Some people will support you, some people will not support you. The majority supported me, and I won the election. Now, with the litigation and everything, it's not to focus on Osun State. All Osun State indigents, they should all come out, come and join hands with me and move Osun State forward. What I want to tell them is that there's no winner and no vanquish. So I want them to come and join me and move Osun State forward. I've already told them my eyes are open for ideas. Anything that they can do, make Osun great again, is welcome. So I love them all. Let them come, but that's democracy. We have to come back and do it together, and so that we can move Osun State, so Osun State can get to that. Thank you very much.
So now, after all of this, the people of Osun State, they've been with their breath being held up because of all of these back and forth in the courtroom and the elections. Now, there needs now to focus on governance. You need now to focus on the promises you made to the people of Osun State. Your performance, as you promised at the campaign, we now need to start seeing them. What should the people of Osun State be expecting from you from tonight?
Listen, Chiu, I have already demonstrated it during my 100 days. Now they call me, governor, that will say something and I will do it. I introduced what they call fact check. You can fact check me. All my 100 days, all the people were kept in that 100 days. And they are so proud of me. That is why they went back to the poll and supported me. I won all the National Assembly, House of Representatives, the Senate, and of course, State Assembly, 25 out of 26. And to tell me, to show me, tell me that they are with me. So I've demonstrated it. And of course, that's why the fact of the little distraction, I was still focused. So it's now all the litigation is over now. Now I'm the authentic governor of Osun State, affirmed by the Supreme Court, is to move forward and be focused That's what as I'm talking to you, there's ongoing projects going on. And Osun people, I can tell you, you ain't seen nothing. You have a governor that have a fear of God. You have a governor that will promise and do. And that is what is going to happen. We have all our five-point agenda, but it's now moving. So as you say, here I come again. Thank you very much for trusting me, and I can assure you, I will not disappoint you. More goodies on your way. Osun people, I love you.
Senator Adeleke, Osun State is one state that workers have had issues with prompt payment of salaries, backlog of pensioners' wages, pensioners' pay, and wages are being owed to some workers. This is a state that at some point it was being described as a state that is largely insolvent, a state that has a revenue problem. Let me ask you pointedly, so does your state have a revenue problem? If that is so, are you, because I know you and your family, God has blessed you with the blessings of the pocket. Maybe somehow you are even using the Adeleke family funding to help the people of Osun State and Osun State government. Is that a scenario that is possible right now?
Well, no. As you see, I told you before that when I came in, the first thing I did is to block all the leakages, block all where the corruption, block all where our money is going, block all the unnecessary spending, and of course, I beg God, I pray to God to give me the wisdom of Solomon to be able to see what I can do for my people. So I block all the leakages and I start spreading it. All the roads are ongoing. Where there's no electricity, I fix it. Where there's no water, even the pipeline water, the government pipeline water is ongoing now. And what is the simple of it? It's just a simple of pipes. I told the Ministry of Work, go and check all the pipes. And I released funds for them to start fixing another pipe. Now they have pipeline water. Of course, again, supported with boreholes, electricity everywhere, health, free healthcare in terms of surgery, in terms of surgical people that cannot see very well ongoing. So it is a matter of strategy. It's a matter of somebody that I promised during my campaign is not going to be a business as usual. That I will make our people enjoy the dividends of democracy. And I can assure you they are enjoying the dividends of democracy, and I will continue to make my people happy. And I've demonstrated that I've paid, a salary, I spread it. The salary they owe since 2015-16, I started spreading it, I started paying it. The pensioners, they've been dying, they're not dying anymore. I started paying it, slowly but surely, and then we're paying our salary on time. So it's just a matter of, scheduling the thing that you want to do, for your people. So that's what is happening. So the thing is that I block all the leakages. I block all the leakages where all corruption is been going. And it will continue.
Yeah.
You said it will be great again.
Yeah, you have promised the people that you will be a worker-friendly governor. In fact, you said that you want to be recognized as a governor who is best in servicing the people's welfare. But if there is one major problem confronting revenue generation in Osun State, what have you discovered to be so? Or what would you refer to or identify as one major problem that you have identified as a revenue problem since you got into office?
Like I said, we have a solid team here. We have a solid team with brains. People who are brains, who are very, very intelligent. We are putting everything together, spread, them. We sit on the round table to discuss how we can move Osun State forward. I can assure you, our revenue has already gone up. Because we mean business. Even at the mining, gold mining and some other mining that we have discovered, Osun State is so blessed. We have discovered a lot of a lot of goodies in Osun State, a lot of mineral resources, which we're going to be, they didn't tap it, which we're going to tap it, as I was speaking to him, because of my connection in abroad and everywhere. A lot of people are now coming to invest their money in mining, in agriculture, and so forth. Because of my own mention it. Now that the litigation is over, I can be focused. And those people are now happy. I've received so many calls. Now they are happy now. They're going to be dripping now. Or should say, I'm telling you, you yourself, I don't know how to do it. You're going to be coming over here and chilling with me and say, what's going on here, man?
I know Atakumosa is one area in Osun State that is rich under the ground with a lot of gold, and there's been a lot of issues, controversies about illegal mining and all of that. If you are to make Atakumosa and Osun State generally as a gold mining hub, what would you be doing? Are you considering an Osun State-owned investment in gold mining, or what exactly is your plan in that respect?
That is ongoing. That we have to invest. We Osun State have invested a lot. Even not only in Osun State, in Enugu, in I've still looked at all the papers. I've formed a committee that are looking into it. And they will bring it to me, and then I will look for it and everything else. We're going to invest like I've been. I'm not a sit tight in as a governor, sitting in the office. I go there and check myself. And all our properties in Abuja, in Lagos, name it anywhere, I go there, to check it. And we are working on it. I'll be able to come back and tell you what we'll be doing in terms of it.
Governor Adeleke, now, do you feel sometimes underrated? For those who think, oh, governor is a dancing senator, became a dancing governor, danced his way to the government house in Osun State. Do you feel sometimes underrated that there are those who thought that you cannot win the election, you won the election? There are those who thought that, well, he may not be a good governor. I mean, there are those who are thinking, maybe you may not have what it takes to lead Osun State people. Do you feel underrated? And what would you say tonight to those who think that is a dancing senator, a dancing governor?
Yes, I feel or felt underrated. Because a lot of people, I told people that do listen. Everybody have their own hobby. My own hobby is to dance. I'm supposed to be a musician. But I thank God my nephew Davido, my son Dira, Chinorambo, they took after me. And they're now singing and they're making waves. They're doing very well. I'm supposed to be turned to a businessman, politician. So that's my hobby. I love to dance. I love to praise my God. But there are people in Nigeria, they don't understand everything. I demonstrated that. They don't know. I demonstrated that when I was in the Senate. All my promises were kept. Now again, they even said, I cannot debate, I cannot talk, I cannot do this. But hey, I surprised them. And now again, a lot of people who have been thinking that, oh, I may not be a good governor because I dance. They are now dancing though. All of them are dancing. Because that is my strength. People love me because I'm not a pretender. I'm US trained. I went to school in America. I don't pretend. But when it comes to my work, oh my God, so you need to see me. You say, oh, Governor, you are just dancing there a few minutes ago, and then you are back to work. And that is me. So I even like it underrated. So when I'm underrated, back up, I hit them. So that's what is happening. Now, they know they cannot underrate anymore. Because I've shown them what I got. I've shown them what I can do for my people. I've shown them good governance. I've shown them, and I've demonstrated it in my 100 days. And more goodies are coming. They ain't seen nothing yet. Thank you very much.
All right. I mean, I will be excited when the people of Osun State are happy, because the essence of governance is when people get the feeling that they are being well governed governed, and they are getting the benefit and they're reaping it, and their lives are better for it. And I wish you the very best. And to Adeleke, after winning this election, the people of Osun State are very expectant. There will be a lot of sleepless night for you because the expectations are now higher. You say you are underrated. We'll be expecting what the underdogs do in this kind of scenario. We'll be expecting from you. I wish you the very best, Senator Adeleke, and congratulations once again.
So I want you to watch me here. So I want you to watch me here at home. All everywhere in Osun State, there's party. Everybody's smiling, everybody's happy. Please come and join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Senator Adeleke. Thank you so much. And congratulations again to you and the people of Osun State. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll take a break, everyone. And when we return, our attention will be on the National Assembly leadership and the reasons behind APC's decision. We'll be getting some explanation. It seems to be that the APC is actually causing more trouble for itself. There is agitation within the APC and without. Stay with me, everyone. We'll be right back. Everyone for staying with us on the program. But the National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has zoned the leadership of the 10th National Assembly, according to a statement and a press briefing that held by the National Public Secretary of the APC, Mr. Felix Moka, yesterday. The zoning arrangement is now being made public. So this is how it looks. The Senate presidency will now go to the South-South, and specifically, the APC has now put a name to it. Coswe Akpabio from Akwa Ibom is the nominee for that position, and for the Northwest is Senator Barau Jibrin from Northwest Kano State, precisely. And for the House of Representatives is Honorable Abbas Tajuddin from Kaduna State Northwest, and the Deputy Speaker Southeast, Honorable Ben Kalu from Abia State. This is how things are looking right now. Is this justified from wherever you may be assessing and looking at things generally? Akpabio, South-South, Barau Jibrin, Northwest, Deputy Senate President, Southeast, Deputy Speaker, and the Northwest Speakership. And so this is how things are looking at the moment. Let's get some perspectives on how the APC is zoning and what the reasons behind what they've done. I'm being joined by a member of the House of Representatives representing your state in the House of Reps, Honorable Akin Alabi. Thank you so much indeed for coming tonight. My pleasure. Thanks for having me. And I have the National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Mr. Felix Moka. Thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you. Yeah, thank you. It's good to see you. Thank you. I think I should begin with you before I come to you, Honorable Alabi, because a lot of people are worried when they start the zoning, because what a lot of people will think about is zoning that also Northwest, Northeast, then you allow people to run. But your party had now micromanaged the situation, sort of. What was the sense behind that?
Thank you so much, Now, the announcement we made yesterday was the outcome of this protracted consultations and engagements with the leaders of our party and stakeholders, including many of those who have expressed aspiration for these offices of presiding officers of the incoming 10th Assembly. Now, yes, within the rubric of that engagement, yes, the issues of the zones were offered as recommendations. But, the party went beyond that to indicate, the preference, the outcomes of these consultations and some of the, what was emergent consensus of these leaders and stakeholders in terms of the individuals and the aspirants who have expressed their interests, to vie for these offices. Now, I know, Shehu, that what you said is true, that typically, parties may zone to regions and leave off that micro level, specification of, suggestions of individuals. But that's one modus. We at the APC, we thought it's, necessary to actually go a step further. Because, the field already, as we see it, was already getting very heavy. And, just to, I think, give some, to sort of, reduce the scope of contention, we thought we'd go a step further. So, to actually, make that offer.
But again, you have a national chairman who is a sitting senator. I mean, well, he was a senator. He was a senator. Now, as soon as he opted to be national chairman, he had to leave office. So now the question is that one would have thought that experience will prevail. You have a national secretary of your party who was a former senator, and you have your president-elect, your vice president-elect, who've been in the National Assembly. Now, the question is, this politics is a politics at the Hollow Chamber. The politics that is played at the Hollow Chamber. Perhaps you've not heard the anger when you guys came out with that position. I mean, that you are now typecasting the zoning of this position to names. That means your party has come out with favorites and excluded people, which some people have described as undemocratic. How would your party go that far, and that you have solely determined and you've cut out every interest that is possible?
So in our constitution, consensus is a mode for the selection of those who play whatever role, in whatever capacity.
Would you say this is consensus?
No. That's what, I'm not calling it that, but I'm coming to that. Consensus is a mode for the selection of those who play whatever role that the Constitution actually prescribes for the party. Meaning that you can negotiate and engage and consult to the point where there is some level of apparence in terms of what might be a preferred position for the party. But let me say this, and I've read a lot of commentary about this. I think we're making a big deal out of this unnecessarily. At the end of the day, the party is only offering ideas and suggestions, looking at the big picture. Because, sometimes when people aspire, they are, sometimes, blind-sided by their aspiration and don't quite see the, full national interest. But the party is in a position to see, that national interest. Because, those of us who are in the party, the national chairman, we're not, aspirants to these positions.
But did you consult these people?
Yes,
if you
yes,
consulted all of the candidates.
We look. Let me just say, I'm a lawyer. I like to qualify. Let me say that we consulted the, greater majority of these, our party men and women who are aspiring. And by the way, in the statement that I gave yesterday, I made it clear this is not cast in any kind of. The party is not saying this must be. We are simply offering recommendations, because at the end of the day, votes, are to be taken on the floor of both the Senate and the House of Representatives.
So you recognize that your party members can go against this on the floor?
You know what? Look, every party member, including members of the opposition, have constitutional liberty to aspire. APC is not about to circumscribe the fundamental rights of anyone.
It does look like you have done that.
No, we have not done
that's what it looks like.
No. See, look.
If you did not open the field, and what you just basically said is that there's only one slot, only one nomination form, and you have put the name of that is what you have done.
No.
Look, if you did that, it would have been that you have opened it up, but you did not open it up. You just put back the slide, please, my producer, so that Mr. Moka can understand the picture, a pictorial reference of what you did yesterday. And your party, this is what you have done. You have incidentally just said, nobody, you have to work according to what the APC and its stakeholders have done.
That's an unfair characterization of what we did. There's nothing we did yesterday.
Is this against what we did?
I can read.
Is it a true picture of what you did?
Hang on. This is your, graphic representation
of what you did,
or of your understanding of what we did.
Of what you did.
That's not what we did.
Okay, so let me go over. Senator Akpabio from Akwa Ibom, is that your nomination for Senate presidency? Okay. Is that your nomination?
Thank you for the word nomination.
Is that your nomination? No, say yes or no. Is that your nomination, Mr. Moka?
Hang on. The party is not in a position to nominate. We didn't nominate.
What did you do? You selected yesterday?
We simply zoned. And if you know, maybe I should read the statement again to you.
I have
because
the
I think
statement too.
if you have it,
please go ahead.
So what I said in that statement was that we received reports of consultations made by the party. It's there. You know,
I have it.
Yeah, so they received, the NWC received these reports, and that these are the zoning arrangement suggested by the totality of the engagement and consultation conducted by the party on all levels, and that we are offering that as recommendation to our members and hopefully to some reasonable progressive members of the opposition to consider. Now, at the end of the day, but you see, when you have a situation where certain individuals have a right to vote, and actually accreditation for that vote is specific, meaning that you can't just stroll in or saunter in and get accredited. I'm not an elected member of the assembly. I don't have a vote, but there are some people who have a vote. They will cast their vote. We're simply saying to them, we could have said we're not going to zone, and then we come out to individuals and say, look, you know what, support A or B. I have a right as a citizen to do so. And the party, as an aggregate of citizens who form voluntarily a political party, have a right individually and collectively to actually come into a program and actually suggest to them that we think that Peter or Paul should be supported. That is a valid engagement. Right. There should be no interrogation of that.
Just give me a moment, because there's one thing that you have to explain to Nigerians also tonight.
Correct.
The rationale behind the zoning.
Yes.
So let me come to yet another person who is complicit. In all of this.
Did you know this was an inquisition? I didn't know. You should have told me.
You weren't warned.
Absolutely.
This is a friendly inquisitorial process.
That's right. No worries.
So, no arms, no offense. But you are complicit in the sense that the last time you were sitting right here.
Yeah.
And you told me that Tajuddin Abbas.
No, that's not what I said.
No, you mentioned him, and it looks so much that you are off the school of thought that is one of the favorites.
No, I've been for Tajuddin Abbas.
That's your man.
I wasn't shy.
Oh, you're an institution man.
But let me explain to you.
Honorable, you are an institution man. It looks like this is premeditated.
Come now. Let's do a revision.
Okay.
When I was here, we talked about Senate, right? And if you are a student of politics, you will notice the trends, right? We looked at the Senate. We said we have a Muslim ticket for the presidency and the vice president-elect. Then we said the number 3 man, I think is likely going to go to the south. I don't know whether it's going to be southeast. I don't know whether it's going to be south-south. And 2 prominent people, when you mention the southeast and south-south, you talk about the likes of Ojizo Kalu, you talk about Senator Godswill Akpabio. So by the time you go to south-south-southeast, Southern Christian for the number 3 position, then number 4 position, a zone like the Northwest will ask you, we gave you the highest number of votes during the election. What are we going to get? I think it's only natural. But North Central also did very well within differentials, right? But Northwest will ask you. So if Northwest has a say, then they can say number 4. It's only natural that you will look at the candidates in the Northwest. And I looked at the candidates in the Northwest. They're quality people across board, across all the zones. They're quality in the Northwest as well. But I looked at Tajuddin Abbas. We talked about his qualities. We talked about his PTO. We talked about having the highest number of bills in the last assembly, both Senate and House of Reps. That's the highest number of bills. If you look at the order paper every day, you look at Tajuddin Abbas. He's a parliamentarian extraordinary. So I supported him. But apart from supporting him, we all have our biases in the house. We all have our individual preferences. But we still formed a group called the Joint Task. We said that, hey, we are going to follow the zoning formula of the ruling party. And Joint Task is not just APC members. It cuts across all the political parties represented, that's going to be represented in the 10th Assembly. It's co-chaired by Honorable Kumu, who is from the northeast part of the country, APC, co-chaired by Honorable Kingsley Chinda of the PDP, River State. The secretary is Honorable Medaki, NMPP, Kano State. So it cuts across party lines. But we said, forget your individual biases. From that day, I dropped my individual bias. And I became one of the spokespeople of the joint task. And we welcomed everybody. Even if you're supporting A, you're supporting B, once you agree that you're going to follow the zoning formula of the ruling party, of the majority party, we came together and formed the joint task. And now the ruling party, the zoning has been done, so the joint task now, we are endorsing Tajuddin Abbas for speakership. It's a very simple process.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a corroboration of, and I say you are complicit because your analysis at that time looks so much like the position of the party, and now you just corroborated it.
If you're a student of politics, you see how things are going. And then look at the analysis.
You guys had it all planned out. Now, this,
I don't have the power to do that.
No. But you are an institution person. You are a friend of the inner circle. Now, the question I'm going to ask you now is the fact that, are you getting reaction already from your colleagues? Some of whom, I mean, a senator was here yesterday, and they feel very slighted. They feel very bad that there are no consultations, that the APC is going the way it went the other time and it was beaten. Are you guys aware of the threats that this poses?
I cannot speak for the Senate, right? But from what I know with the House of Representatives, I know there are consultations. And let me tell you something. Consultation is an ongoing process. Consultation is not a one-day thing. It's not a one thing. It's not one event. 90 minutes of football, for example. It's an ongoing process. Consultations will happen every day. And we've still got over 1 month before the inauguration and election. And I tell you for free, exclusively, not exclusively, we're speaking to the world now anyway.
Just imagine you're talking to me alone.
Right now, as I talk to you.
Don't let the whole world hear.
The president-elect, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is still meeting with some people that have signified their interest to become speaker.
Is that happening in Lagos?
It's happening. Just let's just tell you that. It's happening. So that's consultation. And it's going to happen from now till June 13th when we're going to have the inauguration.
But is it fair that you have allowed some of them use their money? If you're coming from the airport or going in, I mean, either way, if you're coming into town from the airport arena, you see members of the House who are already campaigning. Some of them had gone, they've done the unveiling of their manifesto. Why did you allow them to go through that task of trying to spend their hard-earned resources to do all that? Then you're now coming out with it. Is that fair?
Well, I think the leadership can explain why they did it at that particular time. Maybe they should have done it earlier. Maybe they should have done it later. In their wisdom, they've decided to do it now. People came out to signify intention. About 10 or so or 11 people came out. And they are all fantastic parliamentarians. But we have to come up with an arrangement where we're going to line up behind someone. And when you said it's a bit unfair to the party, when you said you shut everybody down and you offered only one nomination. There's no nomination form involved in speakership, but anybody can get up on that day and say, I nominate this person, and the vote and the person will automatically...
Nigerians are not stupid.
So
hold on. I will take that from you because it is obvious. You are members of the political party. The political party, as a ruling party, has a prerogative to be the one, just for a moment, to be the one to determine how you want to go in the leadership of the party. But when your political party says, this is Akin Alabi is the man we want, you have definitely typecast it
have
to
you
one
forgotten
person.
That we have less than half of the members-elect, APC? So when you say we're typecasting everything like it's in, we're not even up to half.
No, but that's what the party has done.
We're not even up to half. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
In a straight and literary term, that is what your party has done.
What I am saying...
You might see it as give a political meaning to it, but that's what your party has done.
No, the party has recommended. I said, this is where we're going. Less than half of the members-elect, this is where we're going. Those others can support us from other parties across. That doesn't mean others won't still come out to say they are interested.
All right.
What if all the other opposition parties come out and say, we are voting one block?
Guess what?
What if that happens?
The minority parties saying they are going to throw their hat in the ring. Are you aware of that?
Well, I just explained to you that the joint task that I belong to, that I'm the spokesperson, we are made up of members across all political parties. And I told you the co-chairman is PDP.
But I'm saying that they are outside of your joint task. They call themselves the larger majority or the greater majority, and they say with what your party has done, they will challenge you out in the House.
Can I weigh in on that?
Please go ahead.
On that, there's no such thing as monolithic opposition. No such thing. These individuals who constitute the opposition come from, they're individuals, first of all. Second of all, they represent, different constituencies with sometimes varied interests. When push comes to shove, each member will have to, answer their name in terms of their own calculations of their own strategic best interests. So the fact that they're in PDP or they're in Labour or they're in NMPP does not mean that on the day of vote, they will necessarily vote along opposition lines. Sometimes your best interest can be better guaranteed by actually, riding with the majority party or with, some other, disclosed interests. So the point I'm making is that, yes, it is true that we have made recommendations, but that's what it is. We are not sitting as a party pretending to be dictating to this is the legislature. It's an independent arm of government. Just like you have the executive branch, you have the legislative branch and the judicial branch, which is a bit different because, they're not elected the same way legislators and people in the executive branch are elected. But make no mistake, I think that what we're doing is simply offering direction to our members and for that matter to other members of the National Assembly.
A narrow direction.
Who may choose, narrow or not, direction is direction.
Well,
if you have one rapper as, and if this is all I have, listen, all that matters is that I wash it every day and I wear it. It doesn't matter whether I have 20 or 10, things to change. So long as I turn out neat and, decent, I think people will, understand.
So give us a sense behind the zoning. Maybe we'll touch on the individuals and the personalities that have been typecast into the roles. But let's look at the zoning. Whether or not that is even fair. For the Senate President, South-South, what was the reasoning behind a South-South and a North-West?
Why not a South? Why not South-South?
You should explain to us why you decided.
I start my explanation by asking why not.
Because you are from the South-South.
No. Far from it. You know me better than
I'm asking.
No, I'm not one of those.
No, I'll put you right on the spot.
Yes, I am from
so you need to explain yourself.
I am from the South-South.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't see why the South-South is ineligible for consideration for Senate presidency. After all, no Senate president has come from that region in this, current since 1999, in this current dispensation. We haven't had that. Other regions have had, some representation. Southeast, for instance, 5 of them who have, held that position from the Southeast. Now, listen, that does not mean that the Southeast is, again, ineligible or unfit to produce Senate president. Every region of this country can. But there's something else that we're concerned about. It's called national interest. It's called equity. It's called inclusion. It's called a sense of ownership.
Why not Southeast? If you're truly looking at inclusion.
See, I'm sorry, I don't usually answer questions with questions. But why not South-South? Why not even North Central? Why not, not even Northeast or Northwest? Why not any other region in this country? Fact is that the party is looking at some very solid, parameters of consideration and ensuring that every region gets a fair shake. And let me say this, this thing about the, incoming administration. Now, I say that with the executive and the legislative branch in mind. It's not exclusive to just these presiding officer positions. When the president is inaugurated, there's so many positions that are prestigious and powerful in our national polity that also are there.
Have you considered all of these positions with the equation that you have put forward?
You see, today is what, May 9th? Mm-hmm. We cannot sit today on May 9th to decide or discuss events that can only happen tomorrow. Meaning that tomorrow will come. May 29th will come by the grace of God. And a president will be inaugurated. Once inaugurated, he now has the authority
I'm sure your
to
party
make
your party is not that naive to wait until that time before looking at all of the gamut.
Until the decision is made, it's not made. And we cannot sit to second guess speculatively.
So how do you hope to pacify a North Central and a Southeast, for example?
You see, North Central, for example, our national chairman is from North Central. You know, they're not without anything for as of today. But what else will come to North Central? That is to be seen.
Is that the same reason why the Southeast is also played out?
You know,
left out of this equation?
My point is that this conversation, I would like to come back here after May 29th, when this president-elect has taken, you know, the authority of office, to actually look at the full spectrum of what is done, to then look at the equity of it. That, I think, would be a fairer conversation.
I mean, if you're talking about equity, I'm not sure a lot of people will agree that there's anything equitable in this, but it does look like a regimental position of your party. But on a final point, Honorable, is your party ready for the battle that could come and the consequences of some of what has played out here? Politically speaking.
The party have recommended, right? It's up to lawmakers to go on, elected members, to go on with the politics of electing a speaker, right? Like I told you, consultation is still going on. Consultation is not a one-day thing. Sorry, I'm repeating it. And it's happening again as I'm talking to you. So a lot of people will... I won't be surprised if someone from the PDP comes out tomorrow and says wants to be speaker. Right?
They're already planning that.
So a lot of things will still happen, a lot of politics. The party, they've played their part. It's up to us to do our politics. Now, if you want to be the speaker, you have to do some politics to win people, to whip votes to your side. You need 181 votes, right? If to win, if it's not going to go into a runoff, right? If there are 3 people, then you still need 181. If you don't get 181, the last person will drop off. The top 2 will continue to the next round of elections. So you need to meet individuals. So all the candidates coming out, right, they will still need to...
Although there are allegations that there have been alteration of this standing order in respect of
there's nothing called alteration. It was passed rightfully. I can show you the votes and proceedings of the House. Not today, not 1 year ago. Votes and proceedings, we have the records. The chairman of the ad hoc committee, Professor Lebere, has come out to put out a statement, and there are proofs, not just a statement, anybody can put out a statement, but the votes and proceedings, the document you can verify at the House of Representatives, then everything was above board.
Mr. Moka, you guys...
And it's not just voice, is this the voice vote issue you're talking about? Is there anything wrong with that?
Well, we'll find out.
It would be nice for the people to see who you're voting. People voted for you. To be nice for them to see who you're voting for on the floor.
It's interesting. Interesting times in
Interesting times in
if anything other than these that happen, I would be surprised. I know the APC is very controversial in most of these decisions, and I'm hoping to see, because you have a very political president-elect and vice president-elect.
The ruling party.
And when you have political people in offices, controversy.
Just to round off the joint task, like I said, today we're formally declaring for Honorable Tajuddin Abbas for Speaker.
All right. Interesting times.
That's right.
I'm laughing because I'm a political journalist.
That's right.
This is what I do for a living.
Absolutely.
And I'm hoping to see more of these fireworks happening.
I know.
I mean, I will never pray that you have it easy. That's where my job gets interested.
It's never easy.
Felix Moka, thank you so much indeed for coming.
Good to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much indeed, everyone. I must thank you more for watching tonight. I appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. God bless Nigeria.